Hi, everyone. This is your brief reminder of the online essentials for any technology class with Mr. Schroeder. Today, we're going to understand what we need to do to use Google Classroom, what a design brief is, where to find your tutorials, and understand how grades are calculated, and the importance of turning projects in on time. I try to keep things simple, so we're going to try and keep this lecture short. So as you can see, we use Google Classroom here. This is where your upcoming work will be posted. This is a 6th grade class, but it pretty much works the same across any class in 6th, 7th, or 8th. So don't be afraid if you're in a different grade or in a different class, because they're all organized pretty much the same. We spend most of our time in classwork, where I divide the work up into the weeks that we meet, and there are other standalone sections if we need them. If you need to find tutorials or resources, it's in the section called Tutorials and Resources. All you need to do is click on it, and there you will find a variety of tutorials and resources. You will also find resources and tutorials embedded in projects, such as here I have a link to in a bibliography.com and some sample airplane designs, because I asked my students to make some airplanes. Now let's get back to so that takes care of where to find tutorials and how to use Google Classroom. Now let's talk about design briefs, what they are, and why you need to know how to use them. So any project at all, if you're in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, is going to have at least 3 things. You're going to have a project description, a design brief, and the rubric that goes along with it. You may have other things like examples or links or specific tutorials, and that will depend on each assignment point by point. But I really need you to understand what this thing is right here. Just as a quick understanding, a project description is just that. It's a description of the project. I'll give you a learning target, success criteria. I'll tell you what problem it is that we're trying to solve or what project we're building. I'll link to or list the required research or apps. I might even tell you things like the materials you need on this project and the steps that you'll go through depending on the type of project. And that's just meant to give you that guidance. However, this right here is the design brief. This is what you need to fill out and turn in with every project. Now, it's pretty straightforward. If it's blue, then delete the generic blue text and change it to make it specific for that project. So the name of the project, the date of submission. If it says delete it and turn it red, then delete it and turn it red. Collaborators, people you work with, materials, whatever your project is made of, tools that you use to manipulate your materials. Now, required artifacts are things that you need to turn in. If you need to turn in evidence of investigation, it's going to be a works cited page, and you're going to link to it. Don't know how to make a link? Go check out that tutorial. I have a tutorial for you. In this case, in this project, I'm going to ask my students to provide evidence of evaluation, and they're going to have to complete this document here. Now, when you are working on a document, when you're working on a project, whether it is at home or in school, anywhere, anytime, you complete one of these boxes for each day that you work on the project. Tell me, what was the date? How much time did you spend that day? Which phase of the design cycle? And give me a bulleted list of the things that you did that day, and take a picture of your work and upload it. Not sure how to take a picture? Don't have a phone? You can use your camera. Don't know how to use the camera? Need a tutorial? It's in the tutorial section. But I do need an image of that work. Now, if you work for 5 days, I expect 5 of these boxes to be filled out. If you work for 2 weeks, I expect 14 of these boxes. Mr. Schroeder, there aren't 14 boxes. Well, highlight and then Control-C, Control-V when you go in here and insert a row, and then you can go. Okay, so we all know how to use copy and paste, and we can add more boxes, delete boxes as you need. And the final project here, I need a photo, a video, or some sort of picture of your final work. This is critical even if we're meeting in school, because sometimes I don't get to hold your project in my hand, and this is the only way that I can see that you have completed it. So make sure you have that. Now, if there is some sort of evaluation, I'm going to put it in there. Now, the design brief is meant to be done every single day you work on a project, and then you turn it in at the end of the project. That is absolutely critical. Now, finally, you must turn in a project on Google Classroom so that my gradebook can understand that you have finished the work. My gradebook links to Google Classroom, and you must turn in the assignment. If you do not turn it in, if you submit it, email, or share a link, you will not get credit. You must turn in the project. And if you don't turn it in by the due date, it will be registered as late. All right, I hope this made sense.